everybody, it's Jason Shadwick with Premier Guitar, and we are at the 2022 Anaheim NAMM show. That was Neil Jason on bass that you heard there in the intro. I'm here with Ben Fulton from Seamoon Effects, and we're going to be talking about 4 pedals you guys brought to the show. And the first one, which is already out, is called the Funk Machine, which we heard on the intro. Give us kind of a brief description of how that came together.
Thanks. So this is the Seamoon Funk Machine, which is a pedal that I redeveloped after the original Seamoon Funk Machine was no longer made for like 40 years. This is the sound that we used on Brian Ferry Records and Roxy Music and the Brecker Brothers and a number of others. And Ben Fulton worked with the recordings of stuff that I had done with this box until we dialed it in really good. And this was the first release for Seamoon, the Funk Machine, and that is out now.
Out now. Let's give us a little more of that one, Neil. Let's hear a little bit more. All right. Moving down the line, next to the Funk Machine, what do we have?
So next to the Funk Machine is a new favorite. It's called the Octatron, and again, Ben came up with a fantastic design to give us an octave down, 2 octaves down, and our favorite feature, the sub feature that is also in the Funk Machine. We've added that now also.
All right, so Ben, tell us a little bit about kind of the inspiration behind this design.
Of the Octatron?
Yes.
Well, so it's an analog octave, so analog obviously a lot more squishy, a lot more responsive, a lot more natural feeling for the player. There's a lot more response than a digital device, so that's where I went with it. I obviously talked extensively with Neil because he's the man and he's the guy who's played on all these amazing albums with these amazing artists. So it's fantastic having this reference point to get his feedback, and it was really taking those things and then finding a way electronically to make it happen within an analog format, and to pack them into this tiny little box and have all of these 4 different features really in the same enclosure. And here we are at the NAMM show, and there's the yellow box, and they're all in there, and Neil's happy, which is great. You know, he's our like our acid test of anything. If Neil gives it the thumbs up, then doesn't get really much better than that.
So what do you look for in an octave pedal? Are there certain characteristics that your ear kind of gravitates toward?
Absolutely, and again, this whole thing of staying analog, really important. Ben nailed the hell out of it. I'm just working backwards from all of the old pedals that didn't quite have the length of the note that would hang on in a lower octave. They would start to modulate too quickly, and also the fact that you can get a little bit more tone variation on this one to make it just a really cool octave or to make it more of a synthy sound. And again, we went with recordings of really old stuff that we knew was perfect until we got that sound, and then we've been added some cool stuff.
All right, so that's the Octatron. Let's move on down to the white pedal there with the blinking light. Tell us about that one.
My favorite new one. Okay. This is the Sky pedal, the Sky Machine, which is just a fantastic chorus that, and of course Ben will describe the unbelievably added positions that he's put into it, but to me, that's the sound that I've been looking for.
So Ben, what was kind of you mentioned you listen to recordings on this, but when you think of bass chorus, what's kind of the immediate sounds that come to mind for you, and how did you get that in the pedal here for Neil?
Well, I guess probably the first time I heard bass chorus being used was probably with Jacko, you know, who was a contemporary of Neil's, which is kind of trippy to think that 20 years later after hearing Jacko, I'm working with someone that was in the same scene, playing, you know, both going for different studio gigs and things, and in that whole New York scene, which is amazing. So that was probably the first experience I had with the chorus. Obviously with Red Witch, I designed the Empress chorus, the new Empress Deus chorus, and you know, Neil had heard that pedal, and it was a case of starting from there, and then basically, well, what can I do with that design to align it with the needs of a bass player? So it's an analog bucket brigade chip. There's nothing digital in it. It's all analog. It's got a tone control which affects the wet signal, which is really useful for bass. It gives you, a further range of options there. It's got 3 different delay time settings on it, so that gives you everything from really pitch shifty sort of stuff that you can have it so it's a really deep, lovely chorus, right through to something that's really subtle. In fact, Neil was saying with the most subtle of the settings, the shortest delay time, his observation was with fretless bass, when you use chorus, things can get a little bit weird because there's that modulation. But with the shortest delay time on it, it's actually it'll work really well on a fretless, which was something I hadn't thought of because I'm not a bass player. But that was an almost immediate observation. So, again, it's trying to cram everything in there to make it sound fantastic in a nice little box that delivers a whole lot of different features. And then, of course, it has to pass the Neil Jason test. And happy to say it seems to have. So, yeah.
All right, now we have the 4th one down here, Neil, the black one.
The 4th pedal is very interesting. It's called the grind machine. Which is a really cool distortion preamp for the bass, and this was developed by a friend of mine many years ago, and I went through it and we redid it for bass, and it really is fantastic. And a point about this whole line, Seamoon is basically a bass-centric company.
Okay.
I try to stick with what I know, and I really like the way this stuff works for bass. Fortunately, the Funk Machine and a few of these others also work on trumpet and saxophone, because the original Funk Machine was used by me, Michael Brecker, and Randy Brecker on all those original Brecker Brother records. And a lot of other bass players used it. So I try and make sure that the octave pedal, the Octatron, works great on trumpet and sax.
Oh, okay.
But we're really a bass-concentric place, and Ben has steered us unbelievably.
Excellent. So the Funk Machine's out now. What'll be kind of the general pricing and availability for the remaining 3?
This will be out very shortly, and these will follow probably over the next 6 months. This is $199 retail. They're all going to be in that $200 zone, and I don't expect it to go much above $219. And we're very proud that to be able to introduce 4, and there'll be a few more coming.
Where can people go online to find out more information about all the stuff you guys are doing at Seamoon?
Thanks for asking. That's seamoonfx.com.
The letter FX?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to have you play us out, Neil. Thanks so much for hanging with us. This is Jason Shadrick with Premier Guitar.